Hello, everybody. I know it's been a while, but I wanted to share a recent experience that I was able to have, and that was going to Epic Universe. There are a lot of different things that I wanted to share with you guys, feedback with like rides and just like my overall experience and how the park was. One thing I want to say, excuse me, is that of course everything that I talk about in terms of, like the rides and my experience is just kind of, really my opinion. There are some things that are, of course, going to be worked on, and there's going to be things that I know that the park is going to improve before the opening day. But like I said, I wanted to share some of the experience that I was able to have at the park. So I went this past Thursday. My friend Omar, he invited me to go with him, and I'm so thankful he was able to, get me in. And so shout out to Omar. But it was a great experience. The thing that I loved the most about going to Epic is that it's of course a totally new park, right? So tons of new attractions, new food items, just a whole new experience altogether, which is something that I haven't been able to have in a long time because, of course, living in Orlando and always, of course, going to Disney World and going to Universal sometimes as well, where I'm kind of used to just going to the same theme parks. So this new theme park, of course, was really exciting to just be able to even be walking in a new parking lot was so much fun. So right when we got into the entrance, the main thing that I saw was, of course, the new hotel that they have within the park. In my experience, I feel like that was space maybe they could have used for something totally different, like maybe just a completely new land or even two lands, because I just feel like the hotel, while yes, it's great for maybe guests that, of course, can just kind of walk in on property, I think it really takes away from the space that they could have utilized for other things. Throughout the time that I was there were, of course, rides that either were down, like for the whole day, or that were delayed. One of the rides that it was kind of fun, and I know it's meant for like kids, but one of the rides that was kind of cute was the Constellation Carousel. So the Constellation Carousel is basically right in the middle of the park, and what's great about that is that it's number one, it's of course covered, so you get to be in the shade and in this Florida heat, but it's really pretty, to be honest. Like there's a lot of lights all over like the different animals, and the colors are so pretty. It's based, of course, like on the constellations, so you get to pick like what type of animal you want to ride. You are able to ride in pairs on some of the animals, so that's great. So and they also have certain animals that can seat up to 3 people, so it could be you, your partner, and then if you guys have a kid, it's great because they have that there too. One thing I did notice though is that on that ride, while I was waiting in the queue, there was like wires kind of like hanging from the top of the ceiling of the ride, and I was like I know you guys aren't finished, of course, and like opened yet, like officially, but I don't know, something like things like that. I was kind of noticing throughout the park. But yeah, so I rode that. That was fun. It was really chill. The other ride that I really loved was the Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment. So that ride, honestly, I was very scared and very nervous to ride because I'm not big on horror, so I was really nervous. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be like scary with like in the queue. You know how like when King Kong's ride in Universal first opened up, they had scare actors within the queue. So I was like, if they're doing something similar, like I know I'm gonna be scared. But there was no scare actors or anything like that within the queue. It was really not interactive, but it was very like there was so much going on. So there's a room essentially for each monster. So you'll kind of see something of Dracula, Frankenstein, the Invisible Man. It's really cool. And you're essentially walking through the manor to get to the ride. So within the queue, you're just seeing tons of different experiments on the monsters. And the ride setup is essentially like Harry Potter's ride. I want to say the one that's in Islands, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to think of the name, but it's essentially a cart where it's 4 people on one. It's essentially 4 people on one ride vehicle, and it goes up and down. It twists and turns like 360 degrees. It's really fun. It's really, honestly, the most amazing part about the ride was truly the animatronics. That's one thing that Universal was really adamant about, was that the technology that they used was, really advanced. And you really do see that throughout the entire ride. Like, it's not just screens, but it's tons of different animatronics for every monster. And what's great is, like, it's not just monsters that got animatronics. There's other monsters, I guess you can say, that were placed throughout the ride. I will admit, like, when I first got on the ride, I was like, okay, what am I getting myself into, right? Because I'm like, if this is super dark, I know I'm going to be a little scared, and my heart was racing. I will say my heart was racing. I will say, on a scale of 1 to 10, the entire ride, I would honestly say a 9 out of 10. There was just so many special effects that it really makes the experience worth every single, I would say, wait time, to be honest. What was great about my experience, doing the preview, is that we didn't really have to wait in long lines. There were of course wait times that were maybe 60 to 80 minutes, but I never got in queues that were that long. I wanted to prioritize kind of the main rides that I wanted to experience. One other thing too that I wanted to also talk about is Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. So that ride is not yet open. I didn't get to ride that. However, they did let us go into the queue, and I love Harry Potter. I've watched every single movie numerous times. I've never read the books, but I've seen all the movies. Being in that queue, honestly, was overwhelming. I didn't cry, but it was very overwhelming with emotion, because you really feel like you're in the movie. So the Harry Potter ride is essentially in Paris. You first walk into Paris. What they take you through is, so in Harry Potter, and I'm not sure what they're called, but in Harry Potter, the Order of the Phoenix, when they're going to the ministry, where they kind of go into like the little fireplace, like the green lit fireplace or whatever it is, and the fire, of course, comes up, and then they're put into the ministry. When you go through that, it's such a cool experience. I won't exactly say, how it happens, but it's such a cool experience for you to get into the ministry. It's the most beautiful queue I think I've ever been in, to be honest. And and that's coming from me being in queues in Universal Studios Hollywood, also being in just Universal Studios Orlando, of course Walt Disney Worlds, and even Disneyland and California Adventure. I mean, that queue is just very detailed, and there are things in there that make you just feel so present. They really put a lot of attention to detail within the queue. I wish I was able to ride it. That is the one ride that I really was hoping I was able to ride, but it's completely okay. What I'm really waiting for, to be honest, is if they're gonna get an annual pass, or at least add it to an annual pass. Then I'll renew an annual pass with Universal, because I used to have one. But yeah, so that queue was amazing. I would honestly say, for me, even if I had to wait 2 to 3 hours for that ride, I would absolutely do that. The other lands that were really cool were the How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. That was honestly, I mean, I've only seen the movie like once or twice, like the first one. I never saw the second one. But the animatronic that they have of Toothless, he's so cute. I wish I could share, like, I wish I had videos to show you guys. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the videos or pictures on like YouTube or Instagram, but in person, it's so amazing. Like, to be able to see how far like Universal has come with their animatronics and experiences in general is beyond amazing. The one thing too that I was like hoping to get to see, but I know they're still testing it, is so Universal has said that there's going to be dragons flying throughout the land. Of course, I know everyone has seen footage of the dragons being tested, or even just, you know, footage of them on the ground. That is something that I wasn't able to experience yet. They didn't do that yet within the park, but I know that that's going to be amazing as well. One thing too that I want to mention is, so in every park, there's a specific drink that is only made for that park. My favorite one was the one for Dark Universe, and that one, they have like, it's like a berry type of flavor. That one was really good. So whenever you guys go, look out for those particular drinks. When I was there, they weren't at every station, so I'm not really sure if they would be at every station, or if they're only at specific ones. The other ride that I rode, which was the last ride that I rode, was Curse of the Werewolf. That was fun. I wouldn't say that that's like my top 3 rides for Epic. I kind of feel that it's more for kids. Like, it is a roller coaster. It's a small one. It essentially just kind of moves you back and forth. Like, you go forward and then you go backwards. I mean, it's a thrill ride, but it's just not something I would necessarily wait more than like 30 or 40 minutes for. Like 20 minutes, 15 minutes max is something that I would probably wait in that ride for. Food wise, I didn't really eat much. I only had pizza. Pizza Moon was good. I mean, I was really hungry and I just needed to eat something, because I kind of went throughout the entire park with only like the last 2.5 hours of like to eat food. So yeah, so that was really good. The other land too that I really liked was Nintendo. That was really cool. I hadn't seen it or gone to the one in Hollywood, so it was a complete experience for me. The Mario Kart Browsers Challenge, that ride is so much fun. I honestly wanted to do it again. So you essentially put on this like headset with that attaches to like a VR like screen type of thing that's within your cart throughout the ride. And you're really just driving your cart throughout the game. The queue is also amazing, and within the queue, you're essentially going through Browser's like castle. So you're essentially really small compared to everything around you. You see how big his chair is, how big his bookshelves are, his books, all of that. It was amazing. I loved it. And then the ride, definitely 9 out of 10 as well. Definitely would recommend checking out Nintendo World. Like, I didn't get to do some of the other rides, like Minecart Madness. That one was delayed. And then I think when it opened up, it was like 80 minutes or so, and I was not trying to wait 80 minutes. Also did Yoshi Adventure, and that was kind of like it was a kid's ride. It was really cute though. You basically like, every time you see like a red egg or a blue egg or a green egg, you just like tap on your cart whenever you see those eggs, and then you have to look for the golden egg. That's the most important thing. So once you find the golden egg, you win. But it was really cute. Honestly, that ride kind of reminded me of, like, at least like the setup of it is like People Mover, except it's more interactive. So that was really fun. I loved it. And then I also did Hiccup's Wing Gliders. That was actually my first ride. That was a thrilling coaster, to be honest. Like, that I would absolutely wait like 40, 50, 60 minutes for, to be honest. It was really fun. So sorry about that, guys. So yesterday I was recording like the first half of this video and my camera died. I guess it got too hot and it was also hot outside, so the camera died. So sorry about that. But yeah, you know, like I was saying, I mean, overall Epic was amazing, and there's definitely things that the park, of course, like still has to improve. While me and my friend were there, I guess it was so windy that it picked up sand from like things that either they're still working on backstage or like maybe like a construction site, and the sand literally blew throughout the entire park and you can see it. That was not great. There was also like parts of the park that that you can see a lot of backstage, and of course, like, you know, when you go on certain rides like in Disney, you know, when you're going like really high like Tower of Terror, or Expedition Everest, you can of course see like behind attractions. But at Epic, there were a lot of places where I think maybe they still need to kind of either cover up those things, maybe they are before the park opens, but there's definitely things that they still are continuing to improve on before the park opens, and that's great. The park officially opens on May 22nd. I'm hoping I get to preview it one more time before the official opening date. The park is going to be super busy, so of course, you know, everyone's anticipating the opening of the park. So if you are going during that time, honestly, wake up early, get there literally for rope drop, and try to do as much as you can. I would say in order to take advantage of like maybe all the rides that are there, maybe bring snacks and like little bites of food to eat. That way you're not having to kind of stop anywhere. I wish I would have been able to have time to sit at one of the restaurants, which I believe it's called Das Steakhouse or something like that. Let me get the exact name. But apparently it's got really good food, and my friend works there. So I really would like to try it. It's got a lot of like steaks, of course, and burgers, just meat in general. There are really cool like alcoholic beverages like throughout the park, so that's of course going to be really fun to try one day. Overall, I loved the park and I would go back again 100%. There's definitely still things there that I want to be able to try. Specifically Battle of the Ministry or Battle at the Ministry. I know that ride's going to be super fun. And yeah, so I hope you guys get to enjoy it and experience it. Sorry I wasn't able to show you guys really any footage or pictures throughout the park. Of course, we couldn't take any sort of photography or any video footage throughout the park. So hopefully I was able to kind of give you guys a better glimpse into you know, kind of what to expect going into Epic. If you are going, I hope you have tons of fun. But let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to if you're going to Epic anytime soon. But again, thank you guys for tuning in and listening to what my opinions were and my feedback was about the park. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.